it.
Oh, I wasn't even on screen yet. Motherfucker.
We
Whatever,
got a tiny snippet of it.
You guys don't get my Orlok impression.
We got a little.
I'll pull my dick out.
Damn it.
That at least, I guess.
Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that clearly doesn't know how to click the right screens. But it also answers the question, if you just call out for someone to fuck you, Lord Orlok answers and curses your whole life. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, because today we are reviewing Nosferatu. What were your initial thoughts?
God damn it, I love Robert Eggers. Like, can this man do no wrong?
I don't know. I'm sure he can. He must be able to. He's a man.
I don't know.
His filmmaking clearly can't.
Yeah, I don't know if he is just a mere mortal man, because God damn it. Always kills it.
My first thought was, how can this be so boring to so many people, and yet I'm like digging it?
Oh my God, right? Okay, so initial thoughts were just like, oh my fucking God, I love this. And then I get out of the theater. I went with my wife and my sister and her husband, and my wife had to use the restroom before we left. And me and her husband were like, man, that was so good, blah, 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 blah. And my sister, I love her. I do. I swear. I love my sister.
Something's coming.
She's like, I don't get it. What did we just watch? And it's like, oh, Raven, what? What do you mean? This was like a dissertation on tone. Like, this was perfection. This was art. And she's like, huh, we'll have to watch it again, I guess. And it's like, what? It's like, this was an emotion. This was feeling. This was pure, just raw human emotion, fear and lust and desire. And you got none of that. Okay, cool. Cool.
It made vampires scary again.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, there was nothing sexy about him at all. Like, he was the true monster that vampires are supposed to be.
We're going to get into all of that here in a second. This is directed and screenplay by Robert Eggers. It was based on Nosferatu by Henrik Galeen, which was a ripoff of Bram Stoker's Dracula back in the day. The music. Fuck me, the music.
Dude.
Robin Carolyn just knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he first worked with Eggers on Northman, and then he took a classic horror score approach to this, and it seemed to me like he took that classic approach and just like amped it up like 1,000-fold, because the music in this, like, you felt the music. It wasn't just and it's so wonderful because it fit the cinematography, which was by Jaron Black, which I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
I think that's appropriate. Sweet hell, it was just stunning. There were shots in this where Shauna like reached over and grabbed my arm, and she was just like, I can't believe I'm looking at that. This is so beautiful. And I was just like, that's why I married you, because you get it. Like, this is
right.
I mean, she did think it was boring, but still, you know.
What?
Because of the little moments, like the hand grab, I will forgive her and not murder her.
That's fair.
Oh, God. The cinematography and music in this together was just fucking just fire.
Yeah, this was the epitome of what cinema is. Like,
Horrific
absolutely.
podcast. What's that, man? I saw you just did yours.
Yeah, we did it yesterday. It's yesterday for you now or something, I guess. I don't know how time zones work.
This is yesterday for you.
There's no way in hell I could.
I think he's before us, but
yeah, yesterday I partied way too hard. I was passed the fuck out with a book on my face by 9:30 last night.
Wow.
Yeah, we partied hard in the house.
I partied only slightly harder. I had no book. I was in bed, tucked in nice at 9:30. I was like, there's nothing I want to watch on TV. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm going to fucking bed. I got to work out in the morning. I'm going for a hike. I'm like, fuck this.
Mine was just like, I think I might be dying. I should just die in my recliner.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, great now. Like, fucking whatever bug ripped through the house, it killed us last night, and today it's like, oh hey,
damn,
great. This I feel wonderful.
Yes, Colin, you're definitely that.
Yeah,
brutal. This had like less than a $50 million budget, it says,
which is just insane to me. I mean, I guess it's really not that insane because like there's really not a whole lot going on in this, but
Right.
still, like
It's
that's
just some of the
still
set pieces because
crazy.
everything looked practical to me.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, with that low of a budget, it had to be. But sweet hell, it was beautiful. Like everything about this was great.
Hmm.
The clothing, the fashion was just on point and stunning.
Hmm.
I mean, I was just, the sets were just next level. Everything was
Yeah.
great. So I was really, really stunned with what they were able to pack in for the amount of money nowadays, because 50 million back then would have been like a whole new fucking movie.
Well, I mean,
But
especially like looking at the cast. Like,
yeah,
I mean, fuck, I'm sure most of the budget went into getting their asses on
yeah,
board. Although I was listening to an interview, I don't remember if it was earlier this week or last week. It's fucking, I hate middle of the week holidays. They can eat my asshole. But I was listening to
graphic.
an interview with Bill Skarsgård and Willem Dafoe, and like apparently they've been on board for the last decade.
Yeah,
Because that's how long this shit's been in, essentially pre-production. And yeah,
yeah, it
so
was.
I can imagine they kind of just like toss their fee aside just to do this shit.
I mean, originally it was, after The Witch, this was supposed to come out. This was supposed to be the
Mhm.
next show, and he had the witch girl. I can't remember her name right now.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Anna Taylor-Joy. She was supposed to be the Depp character, the wife. But
Ah,
I'm glad she didn't, because
same.
I thought I knew nothing about Lily Rose Depp. Don't give a fuck about her. She
Mhm.
nailed it. She just nailed it.
Yeah, I think it's the first thing I've ever seen her in,
Mm.
and that helped because the presence on the set, like the rest of the cast, just so fucking strong,
Yeah.
and like there is so much baggage because of the different roles they played, even though they completely transform who they are,
Mhm.
some quite literally.
Yeah.
I think having somebody that's, I guess, lesser known, it kind of helped with that role and sort of the meekness of that character.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to start just with the basic premise, because this is actually the weakest aspect of this entire film for me.
Yeah, I agree.
It really bothered me because I've reviewed, I've commentated on the original Nosferatu, and this is not the same story. At no point was there Lily Rose Depp's Ellen. At no point did Ellen like call out as a child or a teenager or whatever she was supposed to be age. Uh, just wanted a good fuck. And she's like, please, someone touch my pussy. Please touch my pussy. And I'm like running across the world trying to get there for it. And fucking Orlok, a world away, is just like, dibs, bloop.
I mean, good for him, man. Know what you want and go for it. Like,
Yeah.
he's
That's
a
the
true titan.
part that bugged me the most, because I get wanting to relive a good fuck. I get that. But to this extent, to be cursed by it, I don't know.
What is marriage but a curse when you really think about it? Not for us, clearly. Like, we're on the good end of being, of the curse.
Right.
Oh
man.
So
Hey, Chris,
it's
how you
perspective. It's
doing?
perspective.
The unicorn. Did we all agree on this? I haven't watched Collins yet because I wanted to go in this fresh before I watched the horrific podcast.
Yeah, I've been
review.
watching like trashy horror television, or not reality television today, so I didn't watch it.
All right. Well, I'm going to be getting to it next. And if it's true, if he feels the same way we did, then I think this might be the first film in a very long time
Yeah,
that we all agree on.
definitely.
So,
I can't think of one that the three of us have agreed on.
yeah. To the point of Colin here where he says proof you don't need to splurge in order to make a good film. I wish Eggers would like write down a manual, like a manifesto of sorts, a Mein Kampf of a my struggle of sorts, and then just pass
Yes.
it out to every single person in Hollywood. That probably wouldn't be a good comparison, Mein Kampf, and then passing out to headquarters of Hollywood.
I mean, yeah,
Sometimes you have to shock the system. is
the
all
old
I'm
regime
saying.
needs to fall. Like, we can all agree on that.
They're
And,
clearly not doing something right.
Yeah.
And Eggers is. And there are other filmmakers who are spending little amount of money and doing tremendous things with it.
Mhm.
And whether people enjoy those particular films in a given moment or not is less important than the fact that they're showcasing that it can make money And that should turn the heads of studios. Like, okay,
Hmm.
maybe we don't need to dump in $500 million on every film and then never see a return.
Hmm.
Because you really don't. And this is proof positive. And if you want to rehash an old story, this is the perfect example of how to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Because the thing is, he flipped the script. Like, his whole thing with this was he wanted to tell Nosferatu from the perspective of Ellen.
Yeah.
And that's what we got. And made it so much larger than the original film.
Yeah. So terrifying. Just
Mhm.
that opening scene not opening scene, but the first scene that we see Count Orlok with Thomas. And Thomas, I mean, first of all, Nicholas Hoult, fucking hell, this guy is
Yeah,
just
man.
balls. He is so great.
I've come to the conclusion he needs to only exist in vampire films, because every vampire film he's in, he is the fucking lead, in my opinion.
Wait,
Like
what's
that,
the other
like
one?
fucking Renfield.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen
haven't seen-
Renfield? Okay.
You told me it was a superhero version of vampire, and I'm not interested in that.
Oh my god, I might have to fucking hold you down Clockwork Orange style to make you watch it. It is so goddamn good. Okay, yeah, he was great in The Menu, but The Menu was
he was in that. That
was an ensemble.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, like,
Yeah. That was a great film, though.
oh my god, so
It was a
fucking
great
good.
film.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right, maybe I'll have to see Renfield.
Dude, it's so
I've been
good.
intentionally avoiding it, but all right. In any case, he killed it in this. And when
Yeah,
that
100%.
first meeting between them, and Bill Skarsgård, fuck me, he went
Dude.
from Crow
Yeah,
to this. This
Yeah.
guy's got the most range of any human on Earth.
right. Arguably one of the worst movies ever made to one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah,
Like,
Just
insane.
night and day.
And
So great.
total transformation too. Like,
Yeah.
I kept forgetting who was on screen.
I kept trying to figure out which Skarsgård it was because I was like, it can't be him.
Same.
There's no way.
I kept going back to, like, well, it's gotta be the one from True Blood, right? Because, like, he's a giant.
Right. Eric
Yeah, Eric.
Northman?
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Eric Northman. Alexander. I don't remember
Alexander,
his fucking
yeah.
name. There's too many of them Skarsgårds.
Yeah. Too much talent in one family.
They're all fantastic, so I can't really talk shit. But yeah, just goddamn it, amazing.
So like the weight of that, I want to keep hammering on because his eyes were watering. Just the presence was getting so oppressive. It was like gravity was amped up to like the nth degree, and he was just being crushed by it. And all the gravity was the mere presence of the Count. You will call me Lord. That is my hereditary title. And he's just like, okay.
Jesus Christ, yeah,
I felt the horror. I've never felt that.
It's been a long time since I've had a movie actually, like, get under my skin. Not necessarily scare me,
Yeah, not like creepy.
but
or...
like, it's straight up like I felt for that motherfucker. I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'd be shitting my pants too.
Tyson should have taken notes. Yes, he should have. Oh man, I was loving this from go. Like as soon as we met, who was Renfield guy? It was it Herr Knock? Yes,
Yeah.
Simon McBurney played Herr Knock. As soon as we first met him, I was like, he's weird. Like,
Right.
why is he so weird? Because I didn't make the connection that he was going to be Renfield initially until afterward. But like that initial meeting, I was just like, okay, they're doing some German expressionism. They're getting some great like visual cinematic cues from it. They're paying homage, but doing it in a completely new way. And just everything about that initial meeting of Thomas for the first time, his first encounter with Ellen and her almost obsessive addiction to being with Thomas and not allowing him to do anything else, even if it benefits her in the long run. And I'm sort of like maybe reading too deep into it, but from the character basis, did she know at that moment that her obsessive, cursed, vampiric lover, who she knew was coming through her dreams and stuff, did she know that that's who Thomas was going to? And that's why she didn't want him to go initially, not after, everything.
I didn't pick that up at all.
Because
Like,
she was
her-
pretty like bummed that he was going, like in a deep way.
Yeah, her obsession, it was sort of sorry, I just had it right there on my head and fucking forgot what I was going to say. But basically, like, he was the catalyst to break the obsession. Like, it was
Mhm.
still kind of there, just like any addiction is, but he was, the cure
Yeah.
essentially. And you could tell that she felt like she was going to slip if he left, like to the point where she was acting like, yeah, you need to be here for my sanity. And he's like, but I'm going to buy you a house and shit. So chill the fuck out. Um, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think she knew from the get go. It might have been an underlying thing, but I didn't catch that if it was.
Yeah. Because she had the experience. She's been having the dreams. She knows it's going to amp right back up if he
Hmm.
leaves. It seems like she knows that. So I'm just trying to figure out how much she is aware of the Count before he goes to the Count. Because I don't recall. I saw this last week on Christmas. I don't recall her ever knowing that it was Count Orlok that he was going to see.
Yeah. Well, it was never told
Yeah.
who it was. That was the thing. Like, even he didn't know who he was going to see.
Yeah.
It was just, you need to go to this place. He's an old man. He can't travel, and he wants it done a certain way. So you're the one that has to go out there.
Yeah. I did really, really like how once he started going, the gypsy scene was great.
Dude,
I mean,
yeah, everything about his journey was just fantastic.
the fucking
Because like
carriage.
we sort of get that a little bit in the original Nosferatu, but
Yeah.
yeah, with this it really amped all that shit up. Like, just the pure menace and fear that everybody has, the pure menace of Count Orlok, and the fear everybody has of him and his estate and everything.
Yeah. Didn't stop him from stealing his horse.
Nope. I mean, a gypsy's got to be a gypsy, man.
Gypsy's got a gypsy.
Yeah, it's I mean, you can't blame them. I mean, it's
Pretty fucked up.
in their DNA for the hustle.
Yeah. They're like, hey, it's a free fucking horse. Let's go. And that.
Give him a wooden cross, whatever. It's fair
Yeah, that's
trade.
true. I loved that midnight scene of sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
because there's nothing like that in the original that I remembered.
No, there
and,
is not.
And it was so beautifully shot. Like, again,
Mhm.
everything in this visually is stunning. And
Yeah.
so just watching that slow procession of all the gypsies with the sacrifice, it was just and then he's not sure if he's even dreaming or not until he wakes up with muddy ass boots.
Mhm.
And I thought he was dreaming too. I thought he was like something his wife was rubbing off on him or something, not rubbing him off. That would have been cool to
I
watch
mean,
too.
there was nudity, so maybe she was. Who knows?
She just snuck over there. I picked up a few tips from Count Orlok.
God damn, dude. Like, I want a creepy wife like that, like sneaking up, hand job in your sleep. I mean, that
Yeah.
sounds terrifying. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
Ever.
please don't.
Yeah,
But don't do it.
definitely don't. All joking aside.
I really loved the feeling of panic. Like, ultimately, I didn't know that Thomas was going to be stuck there forever. Like, I knew he always got out. Like in the original Nosferatu, but it was like it wasn't so overt that he had like hounds ready to tear him to pieces. That
Yeah.
he escaped by the skin of his teeth. That I'm recalling. And I love the sort of the insistence and the pressure of it. And even when he went to try to kill Orlok, and then Orlok was just like, blah!
Dude.
Like, that freaked me out.
That was great.
Like, I thought you couldn't do that, Dick. You're breaking my rule.
Speaking of Dick, funniest fucking thing. That is what Nicholas Holt
Oh, is that
got.
my cue?
Oh, yeah, pulled out. So that's what Nicholas Holt got from Robert Eggers as a parting gift, was the prosthetic penis framed. It was the funniest goddamn thing to see that, and it was even funnier because when my wife found out, she was disappointed. And then that's, of course, what we were telling her family when we were at dinner following the movie.
Naturally.
And her sisters were, of course, devastated that they didn't actually get to see a real penis. Just a prosthetic one.
You're like, I'm here. I can.
I
I'll
mean,
put it on the
there's not
table.
much there. Nah, yeah.
I'll
Whatever.
roll it around the gravy. Oh, man. Eggers gave A24 a run for its money with the savings serving of sausage.
Yeah, I think
Ari Aster is just like, I knew I should have gone bigger.
Definitely, definitely. I think the only movies that probably have this one beat as far as like the sausage count would probably be the Greasy Strangler. They're really
Oh wow.
terrible prosthetics,
Yeah.
but there's a lot. And Rare Exports. Lovely
I'm not sure I remember
import.
that.
It's a foreign Christmas movie.
Okay.
A lot of old naked men. A whole lot of
Weird.
floppy dong. It's very weird. You should watch it. It's great.
Okay. Was it on Shutter? Because it sounds familiar.
Yes, it's on Shutter.
Maybe I did see it. Seen so many dicks in my day, I can't really keep them all straight. They're just everywhere.
Yeah, it happens.
Okay, so he escapes by the skin of his teeth. I thought
Mhm.
that was a brilliant and frantic experience for him in there, which it had to be for
Oh
the
yeah.
gravity of it. But again, the gypsies already moved him off onto the ship. I loved how the ship was dealt with. It flashed me back to the what was the name of that movie about the ship?
The Last Voyage of the
Yeah,
Demeter.
last that until the end, that was a brilliant film.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Oh, you
It
didn't
was
see
one
any
of
of it?
no, I wanted to really bad, but it was only in theaters for like just a short amount of time, so I never got a chance to go
Man.
see it.
Just stop
And
at the 3/4 mark when you see
duly
it,
noted. Duly noted.
and it'll be great. But it was like that where it felt real and gritty and terrifying to be on board. But as soon as it hit London or wherever it was supposed to be, I think it was London, right?
No, it's Germany.
Oh, is it Germany?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well,
Pretty
once
sure.
it hit the sauerkraut coast, I believe it's called. It's like a candy island, but sauerkraut.
Yeah,
Everyone was just
sounds all
like
right.
the plague, and I loved the friend Anna and Friedrich Harding. Like, first of all, Friedrich, I've got to have a drink with this man.
Yeah, man,
I
he seems
I feel
pretty
like he would
boss.
like to hang out with us. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
like we
I
would
I
get
agree.
along. We would make jokes and
Mhm.
have ha-has. It'd be a good time, and I would
Yes.
like to like stand in his foyer and be warmed by his giant fireplaces, and I want him to host me. You know, and then I'll
Absolutely.
just like dance like a monkey or something to earn my pay or earn my keep. I really bought their relationship together, like those two. And she had such a strange hairstyle too, like this weird diamond thing in her hair. It kept like taking me out of everything. I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing, woman?" Did you notice
Yeah,
that?
man. Yeah, Friedrich. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was definitely interesting style choices. I mean, pretty much throughout for
Yeah.
both of them, really.
But as
I don't
soon
think I
as
really noticed the hair though.
oh, the hair drove me insane. It was like this diamond, like this thing came down
Mm.
at a point and then it came off the sides. Very strange, very strange. But I don't get, whatever. It was a tiny gripe of an amazing film, and so I was really, taken in by everything else. But I
Mhm.
love his how he was handling Ellen's sort of freakouts and how frantic Helen got, especially once her Thomas was away being tormented. But as soon as the Count left, and he sort of cast his shadow over, um, I don't know, Bratwurstville, where they lived,
Mhm.
then she started
Let's
simmering
see.
down a little bit.
Visborg.
Vishborg.
Yes, that's where
Vishborg. Once they got there, or once the Count started getting in the area, she started feeling better because he was getting closer. She was like,
Mhm.
I'm going to get cocaine off that cock for sure.
Oh yeah.
She needed the fix. Thomas just hasn't washed his in like a week and a half or so. So it gets like cheesy. You can't
Yeah.
snort cheesy cocaine.
Yeah, and it's definitely not circumcised, so it's gonna be a real funky
Yeah,
cheese.
dude.
Like a good proper blue cheese.
So gross. And as soon as Willem Dafoe is brought in, now I've always liked Willem Dafoe in
Mhm.
literally everything he's been in. I've never once seen anything he's done and been like, not good. It's
Yeah.
always great.
Agreed.
And this was next level. Like I felt like this was the first time Willem Dafoe wasn't 100% Willem Dafoe. He was like 80% Willem Dafoe. Were you like taken in with the character, or were you just like, that's Willem Dafoe?
No, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because I never really considered that until just you said that. But yeah, this was very much a role where it wasn't just like, oh, this is him playing a person.
Mm.
Like this was a character, an actual character, not just it's not. It's like how Michael Caine is Michael Caine in everything.
Yeah.
Usually that's
yeah.
Willem Dafoe, and it's good. Like it works.
Oh.
He's fucking fantastic.
Yep.
Initially, I was honestly a little worried that it was going to be very similar to oh fuck, what was the movie where he was Dr. Frankenstein? It was him and
I
oh
don't
my
remember
god.
that.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, no, it was very much like I was expecting one thing, and then there were times where I totally forgot that it was him.
And I liked how the character like was Professor Albin Eberhard von Franz was like jumping between no, this is how it has to be, like super serious, factual with his occult knowledge and
Mhm.
direction, and then the next second he makes like a weird jokey joke. It was just like left and right with this guy in his delivery. And I was just like, it kept me on my heels because I was like, is he insane? Does he actually know what he's talking about? And I'm
Sorry,
like, I think he does.
Poor Things.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I was honestly thinking it was going to be similar to that, and he wasn't. So yeah, there. That was going to drive me insane if I didn't look
Yeah.
that up.
That's another one I have not seen.
It's good. It's good.
Glowing
long.
review.
It's a bit long-winded,
Yeah.
and it ends up exactly where you think it's going to end. But it's good. It's worth watching.
Isn't it Frankenstein, the story? Isn't that what it's supposed to be?
If
Kind of?
Frankenstein's monster decided to go on a, world tour,
Okay.
it's worth watching.
Yeah.
I would watch this before I watch that again, though.
Okay.
I'll put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you have a standout character in this that was just like next level?
Oh my god. Fuck, that was hard because, it would definitely have to be like really the main three. Lily Rose Depp, but she was good at being meh.
Yeah. Her nipples were great at being meh.
Yeah, man, those were some definitely some.
I'm an erect nipple fan, so like she really nailed that.
Yeah, it was a tour de force definitely for that. Yeah, man, I between Skarsgård and Holt, like those guys just fucking absolutely killed it.
Mm-hmm. Skarsgård just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking disappeared.
Well,
And
just
I
that-
loved when we saw him, it was just shadow
Mhm.
for almost the entire film. Oh, what about the scene with the fucking kids? When he's like, the kids are children. The mom was like freaking out about the kids. I was like,
Oh,
there's
man.
zero chance in this world they're going to show children being eaten by a vampire. It
I
will never happen.
laughed so loud it was embarrassing.
You laughed?
I did.
I gasped.
Because same thing. I wasn't expecting it. It's like I knew, like you ever watch anything else from Eggers, he's not precious with children. Especially because it's like the bad guy kicking the dog in a movie, except
Right.
he's not doing it just for the shock value. He's
Yeah.
doing it to show the actual level of horror. And it's like, no, he's gonna bounce. Oh my god, he killed him. Yeah, it was great.
A funny reaction. Yeah, mine was very much just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did. Not like, oh, those poor children. I don't know them. Fuck them. But it was just like the horror of like imagining yourself running into a room and seeing your two kids in like at the hands of a vampire just
Right.
Just like just ripping your hair out. What the hell is happening? Oh,
especially like the real horror is the fact that he's not doing it to feed. He's doing it just to be a dick at that point.
Yeah, he's
That's the
literally just
best part
threatening
of
her.
it.
He's like, look, come with me or else.
Mm-hmm. Love
She's
it.
like, no. Okay, kids, you're gone. You just did the parents a favor. No. We all know the kids were going to getting it done. It was telegraphed a little. Oh, it was definitely telegraphed. I just didn't know we were going to see it. Like,
yeah, that
see
definitely like.
I thought there would be like bodies laying on the ground or something.
Yeah, 100%. Anyone else, it would be the next day. You're going to check, and they're all in bed. They look asleep, but they're cold and stiff, and that's what's like. Oh, they got got.
Clasping pearls.
Yes.
Yeah. No point given. 3-day ultimatum if you're gonna act on it.
Yeah. No. He's a man of his word, so fucking good on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Respect. He's not here to fuck around. He's here for Lily Rose Depp, and he's gonna get her willingly. It's any monster can rape any monster. Let me frame this properly. Any vampire can walk in a room and rape the victim. But to get the victim to want you to do it, well, that's a skill, and he's just exhibiting that skill.
Yes, that goes from being a monster to a master.
Yeah. One day. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh man, I loved this film so much. I had so much fun, except for this guy snoring right next to me.
Dude, I couldn't have done it, man.
I've never been in a film with someone snoring before.
I'd have dumped my drink on them. And if that didn't do it, I would have punched the motherfucker. Like,
Shauna was just like looking over at me. She's like, what the fuck? I was like, it's a big ass Simone guy. You want me to get in a fight during the film?
Okay,
I want to watch
you
the
didn't
film.
Say that. All right. Never mind. I understand.
So instead, I just nudged him instead of like dumping my drink on his face. But here's the shit. He had a friend that came in with him. Why? And his friend, I looked over, his friend was like dead eye on the screen. Like, I will not look over at the rest of the row. Why wouldn't you, as your friend, nudge your friend awake?
Right.
Why are you forcing a total stranger to do it? It's bullshit. That's what friends are for. That's the whole fucking point. It's to like tell him to put your dick away or to, tell him to stop snoring. That's it. Those are the only two things.
100%.
At least that's what I think. That's why I have no friends. Because that's what I think the only point is. Could have just held his tongue back.
And lost his fucking arm.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. Ask me how I lost this hand.
Oh, yeah. He was just taking over as Count Orlok.
Yeah.
All right. So this clearly already has mass accolades being shoved down its face. It's saying it won awards already. Like
As
already. From November 20th, Hollywood Music and Media Awards, National Board of Review Awards, Washington, D.C. Film Critics Association, San Diego Film Critics Association, Chicago Critics Association, Las Vegas, St. Louis. I'm not going to name every city, but it's a lot of cities is all I'm saying. And there's good reason for that, because this is like a beautiful film that was just a reimagining in a completely modern way with a budget that is totally reasonable, and it will make it back. What's it made already? Do you know? Let's see if I can find that out really, really quick as we're talking. It's already broken like 51, and this was so it's already made $1 million, which is nothing, but it'll make more. And then once it gets in streaming, it'll make even more. So the haters' comments were interesting. Not enough flashy lights for them. That's what I think is like stunning to this is that, and we were talking about this at the very top of the show, how so many people were either this is so boring, or they were just like jaw on the floor.
Dude, and I don't.
It's like one or the other. There's no two. And there were parts in the middle where I was like, all right, this is lasting a little bit long. They could have probably cut 20 minutes, I think. Maybe 15 minutes out of the middle. I
could see that. Like 15 to 20 is pretty safe. You're still going to get the full impact and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's because people are fucking stupid. Like, yeah, I mean, all joking aside, I really do think it's because people are fucking dumb.
I mean, I also think we're like conditioned at this point, I mean, we're conditioned for like cutscenes and flashes and like moving on to the next thing. And we're not really as a species anymore conditioned to sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours and not get up again and just be locked in. I mean, for the past 5 years, or 4 years, it's literally been you're on your couch and you get to pause it whenever you want. You don't have to deal with anyone else, and you go do your thing, and then you come back and you hit play again, and you just sort of binge at your own pace. And it doesn't feel as long when you have those breaks. But with a film like this that is intentional in its storytelling, and it is like you will sit here for this duration and experience. I don't think a modern audience, when I say we, is really conditioned for that after the pandemic.
No, I agree. I mean, it's the whole, like, we're of the YouTube generation now, where it's a 30-second
fucking YouTube
snippets. I know, fucking YouTube. I hate it so much.
They demonetized me twice. So
well, in that case, definitely fuck the YouTube generation.
This whole channel will never make money again because of them. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's just, it's so frustrating because people don't appreciate story and ambiance and just like everything that's great about cinema in theater.
Yeah.
Like, it's just snap, snap, snap. And I think part of the issue too is just how almost monochromatic this is. Like, this felt like a black and white movie
Yeah.
that's not black and white at
No.
all.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's also the same with the, like even The Witch. The Witch,
Yeah.
I like first time I watched it, I thought it was black and white,
Oh well.
if I remember correctly. And then, yeah, you realize like, no, it's just so bleak and it's just like beautifully done.
Yeah.
And I think that throws people off too.
Yeah. I do really like the approach of filmmaking that he's taking, because it does feel like it's taking a lot of cues from older cinema, but it's doing new things with it. Like I really feel like Eggers and even Astor, they're taking a brand new approach or a fresh view to filmmaking that's exciting for film goers, and it's innovative, but it's familiar, but it's odd and strange enough to be captivating. And I like it when filmmakers take a chance and they sort of stretch their legs a bit, because first of all, they're telling their story, and me as a viewer, I'm here for it. And even if I don't particularly like every single aspect of it, I'm going to respect them more for being able to, for first of all, for the studio to give them the ability to tell the story they want to tell. But then also for them to be wanting to tell that kind of a story, because there are people like us out here, like chomping at the bit for it.
Oh yeah.
We just don't get it often. And so when we do get it, we've got to celebrate it,
Definitely. Well, and especially with something like this, because it was straight up a labor of love. Like, this is something that he has been wanting to do for as long as he's been wanting to make films. So like it shows in this, just the fact that this was a labor of love. This wasn't just a movie to make a movie. This was absolutely like, I will live or die by making this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I felt this film throughout the entire experience. It wasn't just a sit down and watch it. I felt the music. I felt the visuals. I felt the pain. I felt the horror. And I felt like vampires can again be scary. And that's after having had so many comedic takes. I mean, I desperately loved What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
But it is a silly take on vampires. This, and even like, when I think of vampire films, I still think nothing is better than Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No,
I really think that's a masterpiece of a vampire film, that it would be hard to go above and beyond. But this is a close second.
Yeah, I mean, being second to Francis Ford Coppola is not a bad place to be, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree, Horrific Podcast, it is all about balance. And yeah, you've definitely been barking at the industry for sure for years.
At least once or twice.
Seriously much worse than they've ever been. Squirrel. Thanks, Chris. Deep commentary as always.
Really, really a credit to the podcasting world.
All I can say is if he wanted to make this a musical, I feel like he could pull it off.
I'd fucking watch it. I'd probably eat up every goddamn second of it.
It would be so amazing. I don't know, man. Where do you go from here?
I don't know.
I mean, I said the same thing after Witch. I was like blown away by that. So like,
that is still, that's still one of my favorite movies of all time. So like, it's just insane. Just how much this man can just go. Like The Witch, that would have been a perfect career ending piece. Like if he never did anything else, that could be what's on his headstone, and people would still be like, "You, sir, were a true auteur." And then to put out something like this is just fucking mind blowing.
What did you think about the ending of this one?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
So it is very different than the original.
I mean,
the original, they just opened the blinds and like killed him. Like that was it.
The thing was, the ending of the original is also very anticlimactic. That is
sure.
very much the ending of Idle Hands. It's just poof. Oh, I guess we're done. This, especially because this was all meant to be from the perspective of her. Like it was her sacrifice that saved everybody. I mean, not everybody, because half the fucking population of
the important people,
Visborg died, but Yeah, there were a lot of people that still live
Yeah.
because she gave up her life to
Mm-hmm.
take him. And then just to see not only that it happened, but to watch him essentially just become this tiny little, almost parasitic looking, like basically he turned into a rat as he was starting to decay, because he didn't burst into flames like a traditional vampire, but he just became more and more emaciated
Just
and
shriveled
just
away.
a husk. Like I loved it. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it.
I love the sacrificial aspect of it. The fact that we capped the film with the exact same event, like them, like we didn't watch at the beginning, the fucking. We
Hmm.
just saw the inference of it, and then of course at the end we closed with the actual act, and the
Hmm.
fact that it. I mean, I want to go on a kind of a limb here and just be like, you know, when you're reflecting on the idea of sex, it's sort of the death of your childhood. You can't go back from that.
Hmm.
Once you, I was going to be serious, but you just immediately start talking about getting your dick wet, and I can't help but be silly about it. But like genuinely, like that is a moment that destroys childhood.
Hmm.
So she went from being a child, having that completely destroyed, having it like be a compulsion her whole life, and so much so it's an addiction to this one man, this one, and
Hmm.
not even a man, this one monster. And then the only way to cure that was to sacrifice yourself to it.
Yeah.
There's something, I mean, Victorian about it. There's something just horrific, old school horror about I will never get over this. The only way I can stop it is to embrace it
Hmm.
and just like be one with it and then suffer the consequence of that. That's so beautiful and horrifying,
Yeah,
I loved it.
absolutely.
I don't know. What was the most important single reason why this movie was so successful? What do you think?
I gotta say probably the passion, because without the passion,
Yeah, Eggers for
the
sure.
rest wouldn't be there.
Yeah,
Like I really do feel that that's what this was.
yeah. It's 100% the director. Like if it wasn't for this being a passion project that he's always wanted to tell, and he put it on hold for so long so he could get it just right. And when he went into it, he's an obsessive filmmaker anyway. He just put everything into it. Any other director, I don't think could have pulled this off at all.
Yeah, there's not many that I could think of anymore. Ask me 10 years ago, I would have said Ty West. But then I saw the X trilogy. Dude, okay.
I don't know, dude.
Pre-X, I fucking love Ty West. Like, watch The Innkeepers and tell me that that same person with those sensibilities and that level of storytelling in minuscule locations with a small cast couldn't have done something like this.
Yeah.
Like, but aside from that, like I can't really think of anybody else like still working to this day that could have pulled this off.
But here's the good part. Here's the good news of that. When you have someone that burns so bright, like an Eggers, then there are people watching cinema right now that are going to want to be like him, and they're going to get
Mhm.
into the industry, and they're going to want to see their vision explored. And it's only going to be a small fraction of that small fraction that actually end up having a voice and being able to really put something together like this. But the fact that it's out there, the fact that the studios are letting him do it, the fact that it's so successful and so many people are going to be seeing it and influenced by it gives me hope.
Mhm.
We've seen, I mean, it really seems like we're on the other side of the Marvel era.
Man, I
mean,
fucking hope so.
That sort of like shitty storytelling side of life. I think we might be going back to a nice, good old age of just storytelling. At least I want to believe that because it gives me a little bit
Same.
of hope to continue watching films.
Right. It's like I love a schlocky shitty movie just as much as the next guy, but god damn it, stuff like this just makes you feel something.
Yeah.
Like this movie has stuck with me because like you, I went and saw it on Christmas. I have thought about it every single day since Christmas. Like this was such a good fucking movie. Like we walked out of the theater agreeing that this is in our Christmas rotation from here on out.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be alongside Christmas Evil and Black Christmas and Everly. Like it's a must watch every year, at least once a year.
Yeah. I like what Horrific Podcast said. Inspiring people's imagination can only be a good thing, especially if it's only enhancing or even if it's only their daily lives.
Well, I mean, that's what it's for, man. That's all art is for, is to make a shitty situation just that much less shitty.
Yeah, and again, to Colin's comment, a lot of the cast and crew are returning because they believe in his vision. Hell yeah, dude. I'm stoked for that. I just love that. I love that he's out there doing this, and I'm so incredibly pleased that I was able to see this film. Not because it's like the most groundbreaking thing I've ever experienced in my life. It's close, but it was such a joy, Like you could tell he loved it. You could tell he cared about it, and just watching it makes me want to watch it again. And talking about it makes me want to revisit it. This is definitely going to have to be a rewatch over and over again throughout the years.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see, if nothing else, extended nipples.
Agreed. With that music.
I think that's a great place to close.
I mean, that's what I've got the fucking record, like the actual vinyl, like.
Oh, really?
Set aside. As soon as we're done with this, I'm fucking buying it.
Hell yeah.
Because I didn't realize that they had already fucking released it, and I need this soundtrack in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was listening to it the next day when I was prepping these show notes.
Hell yeah.
Because it's so powerful. It's so good.
It really is.
All right, well, anything closing you want to put out there about this?
No, man, I definitely think we got it.
All right. Well, everyone go check out Horrific Podcast Review if you haven't seen it already. Now that this one's over, or if this is the second one, compare and contrast. Give notes. What did we get right or wrong? Appreciate hearing from you.
Who talked about nipples more?
Yeah.
That's what I wonder.
Who threatened to pull their dick out more? I know Colin's huge on that. That's like his thing. He always just sneaks it. He doesn't even mention it. He just sneaks it up there. Sort of Jim Morrison through the... Yeah, he snake charms it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'd love to hear what you thought about Nosferatu 2024. Put it in the comments. Is this overblown? Are we just we're reflating it too much? Let us know. We don't mind dissenting opinions. Actually, I find it refreshing.
Absolutely.
So let us know what you think. As always, like it or not, evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there and be evil.
And something. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say
God damn it. I was. Man, I'm fucking done. I should have been in bed like an hour ago.